practice and all that stuff?
You know, we were able to practice a couple days right before Christmas, and then we without some players, but now we're back full go basically on the 26th.
So how many practices have you had since you got back?
I think we've had two or three.
With everybody?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you kind of, you know what I want to ask.
Yeah, it's difficult, I mean, to say the least, but the players have a really good attitude. You know, the coaches are going in every day just working to do the best we can in the situation that we're in. I think everyone is struggling, with different aspects of what's going on, so we're just trying to make the most of it.
Coach, what are the things you want to see from your team regardless of win-loss performance? What are the things the staples you want to see from your team this weekend?
I think the biggest thing is just maintaining a good attitude, working as hard as we possibly can. We're trying to make minimal amount of mistakes. When you haven't had a lot of time to practice, it makes it a little bit tougher. But I think our cardio is going to be a challenge because we haven't played any games yet, and like Wright State's played, I think, 6 games already. So, we're going to have to sub a little bit more than we normally would. And I think a lot of other teams are doing that, and we're playing back-to-back games, which makes that situation even a little bit tougher. But our team knows what we're getting into and understands that it's a process, and we have to embrace that and understand it's not going to happen overnight, and just keep trying to get better every day.
The back-to-back, I know, that's new to you, first time you're approaching this. So how do you kind of approach that, John?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we'll be subbing more. Giving some people extra breaks, a little bit less minutes on that first night, depending on the situation, and then trying to maybe rest a little more going into that Friday game than we might normally.
You said in the past, over your years here, you guys have fed off the crowd. Obviously, no crowd, so how do you get your own energy? How do you kind of do that? Have you talked about that?
We haven't really talked about it much. I don't think this weekend it's going to be too much of a factor. Our kids have been chomping at the bit to get out onto the court and play another team. So, we'll have plenty of energy, and we have to, our bench has to be more involved than ever, and try to give us energy and cheer us on when things are going well, and keep our heads in it when things aren't going well, and it's definitely going to be a change. We have such a great fan base here in Youngstown, and I think we have the second highest attendance in the Horizon League, so it's been a huge benefit for us. But we know, all of those fans are back home, watching on ESPN Plus and cheering us on from there.
Do you expect Wright State to test your game shape? I know they like to play fast. Expect them to try to push it and get out and run and kind of test you a little bit?
I would expect them to do what they always do, which they do pressure, they do push it up. I think rebounding is a huge key for us. They've been playing a ton of kids. They're playing, 10, 11 kids over 10 minutes a game. So they're already playing a lot of kids. They're 3-1 in the conference, out rebounding teams by about 14 to 15 rebounds a game, which is huge. Angel Baker is arguably the best player in the league. I think she might have had 27 against us last year. So great player that we got to try to find a way to limit her a little bit. But we're just going to be thrilled to get back on the court. I mean, that's the biggest thing, to play someone other than ourselves and compete and see where we're at.
If there is one advantage, I guess, is you're able to look at their tape, I guess, right from the game they played, and they haven't been able to see you guys.
Yep, I mean they don't really know what we do, or who necessarily is going to be playing a lot or not playing a lot, so that helps. I think having Christmas break fall where it did helps us also, because they obviously went home for Christmas and had some time off too. So if we had just continued right into play, that would have been extremely difficult for us.
Do you have a starting five? Do you kind of still work with that a little bit? And
I
how do you practice like the next couple of days?
I think we have a good idea. We've had some little things, ankles, and some knee tweaks that we're trying to see how those come out before we make a final decision. But just honestly being able to go 5-on-5 in practice the last couple days has been great for us because we haven't been able to do that in a long time.
John, I'm looking down the road here, like when the tournament comes, has the coaches or has the league decided if so many teams teams played less games, how that's all going to work? Has that been decided yet? Has that been talked about?
Well, the decision is you need to play 12 games to be in the tournament. That's the decision right now. The Big Ten also had that decision made too before Ohio State didn't have enough games, and then they changed it. So I think the NCAA and different leagues will make changes if need be. If you have UConn is one of the teams that they didn't play a bunch of their preseason games because they were out, and if UConn doesn't have enough games, they're probably going to find a way to get them in either their conference tournament or the national tournament, one way or another.
So 12 games total.
Yep, 12 games total, and then your games in the tournament will count as one game. So then you'd have 13, which is I think the NCAA minimum to be in the national tournament.
Coach, you mentioned Angel Baker, obviously a talented player. Is that in a situation where you let McKenna have the first crack at her and sort of see where it goes from there and throw a lot of bodies at her?
Well, we're going to try to, contain her somehow by committee. Everybody's going to have an eye on where she is and what she's doing, and I don't think you're going to stop her. You want her to have 10 to 12 rather than 25. So she's a great rebounder too. She hits the boards and just a very, very good all-around player.
So John, you would expect a lot of players to see the court just because of the situation you're in?
Yeah, we're definitely going to sub more than we usually do. One, because of back-to-back games, and two, because we've been out for so long.